Listen, if you're paying someone right now that is building software for you, he is using AI. Two numbers will tell you if you got ripped off or not. And the problem is that the results are in 6 months to a year. One, how fast they can push a change without breaking everything. Two, by just seeing the UI and the bug, how fast they can understand what's the root cause. That's it. The only thing that matters. And the only one rule that you are supposed to follow to protect the two numbers is don't handle more logic that you can chew. Fixing a motorbike is not fixing a pickup truck. A pickup truck, you need a team because parts are heavy. It always feels like a deal to ship fast. You feel smart, big code base. But if you try to build software, even with an agency, suddenly once the project is in production, what used to take 30 minutes take 5 hours, and you don't know why. People are scared of scale. Yes, it is not trivial to handle a lot of load into a database. True. But the first scale is how your own people is understanding the code base, because the number one cost before servers is people. So if that person is taking too much to understand, he's costing too much. It's easy to review code and say, oh, I understand what he means, but actually the other developer mind is totally misaligned. And that over time creates more issues. And a software quality is how fast you can push a change. But for the change to be meaningful, you need users. So you will see the result in 6 months, not now. If they know, they can find the bug extremely fast just by seeing the UI, because they see the URL, they know what code is triggering, and they know what that action is doing to the database, and they know if that transaction is async or not. So before I tell you what's wrong with AI, here are 3 questions you can ask a developer. Question 1, how fast can you find a bug in a big code base? If the person knows the difference, he shouldn't flinch. Question 2, what would you not let AI write? Basically, anything related to database and models, I would let AI write, but check every line of code. So I want them to say straight away, I'm triple checking migrations and models. So the 5 problems. Problem number 1, the search. Every bug becomes a 5-hour expedition that needs to raise tickets. Engineer asks AI, try something, doesn't work, becomes a loop, you spend tokens and pay his salary. Pre-AI companies, big companies, will hire 20 juniors, 1 manager to try to manage the issue. And yes, developer will struggle evolving because the problems that they throw to them are always the same small problems. Problem 2, code duplication. If AI doesn't have a direction on how to code, it can only know the changes that he's done. He can't know all the code. So he won't look to a folder and say, look at the functions that exist and try to use them, which means that he tends to duplicate code, which also makes testing worse. And suddenly when you want to fix one thing, you have to fix 47 things, which compounds with the search tax, spending more time. Problem number 3, file priority is invisible to AI. It doesn't have any emotion, so it is not scared to change the production files for deployment. It doesn't know about it. So yeah, if he doesn't know that line of code was the event ad attribution for your ad tracking, suddenly your page is broken for the marketers and you don't know about it. 20% of your code carries 80% of your performance and business logic. AI doesn't know about it. Problem 5, AI tests by default are wrong. Sometimes when you test a function, you create a fake result and you run the function and you compare both. AI will tend to come up with fake results, pull out of his ass to make all the tests greens, but it's not the reality. And so your tests have the wrong ground truth. Another issue is that sometimes you have 404 or 500 errors. For AI, all of those errors are the same. You need 500 errors because they can be seen by monitoring system and by jobs so that the jobs can be retriggered. So trying to mask all the errors, what it does is it just hides them from developers and you never know when the system is broken, which is even worse. For AI, tests are just decorations because he doesn't know the difference. It's just statistically all text for him. Now, I'm pro AI. Every engineer should use AI. Refusing to use it is fucking dumb. It's more like right before the model, right before the tool is. Who is using it? What is the intentions? Are they truly believing what they're doing? And they know users are going to be frustrated on how he's developing and how he's behaving. You need to care. Ideally, no one wants a software again. Every time that you show up with a software that is not a video game, someone is frustrated. No one wants to log into Ahrefs. No one wants to pull a marketing report. No one likes your software. Only nerds like Vim. But no one wants to show up in Vim. It's the worst tool ever if you show it to someone else. Here's one example of how I use AI for software development. When I make the plan, I try to get the AI write an assumption of the file touch it. And the reason I do that is because I want him to break the lines of code and run the test so that he can get ground truth data on what breaks and how it breaks. And then he can feed back that into his plan to really have more context on how the code base actually works. From there, I create more tests if there was actually a hole that we didn't see, because tools who catch coverage testing are not necessarily correct, but that's another video. And then I produce the code, and the code that I produce, I make sure it's human readable. The scope of the MR can be shared with someone else if I'm in a team, and that I can own the errors. That's it. If there is an error in the next 72 hours because I deploy something, it's probably my deployment. It is normal to have some errors when you deploy sometimes. It happens. How you react to it makes 90% of your job. So don't deploy on a Friday at 6 p.m. if you're about to go out, for instance. You only learn these things if you've been in the code base long enough with people. You can't learn this just by being in Claude Code. Pushing to Vercel quickly a website does not make you a great engineer. You need to be able to measure what you do. I'm not necessarily proud of shipping 5,000 lines of code. I'll be proud to ship 100 lines of code that makes $1 million.